Good morning, this is Mary with Mojo Designs, and today I'm going to be doing a Copic hair tutorial on how to color curly hair. I have this adorable image from Craft and Kimmy, and her name is Goldilocks. And I had lots of sweet comments from my blog viewers, so thank you, on a couple of cards that I created using this image and how I colored her hair. So I thought I would go ahead and do a quick tutorial. The colors we're going to be using today are Y21, Y26, Y28, and then we're going to be using E57 and coming back in. And this dark brown is going to add some contrast. So when you are going to color curly hair, this is a perfect example because there's some ringlets. And with those ringlets, your darkest areas are going to be at the edge, especially where they meet, so where the hair strands meet. So that's going to be the darkest area, and the lightest area normally is going to be right down the middle of the strand. Now the center of each strand or each ringlet might be different, but for the most part you want to try and find the center. So let's get started. And then, like in my other videos, I'm just going to be flicking in color. And I'm going to kind of go over the line in the middle of each ringlet where you can, because that just saves on a little bit of time. But you do want to have that flicking or that scribbling type motion for blending purposes. So we're taking the Y28, and this is our darkest out of the yellows, and adding the color. And the fun part is when we start to blend it all together. And like this strand over here is not really going to have a whole lot of light. Like, let's say these strands up here. And remember, towards the back of her head, you're not going to have as much light as the ones up on top. So that's really important to remember when you're coloring an image. And then with her bangs, I like to darken up the edges, and right where her part is, I like to make that dark. Then we're going to take our next color, which is the Y26, and we're going to come in and flick in some color as well. And making sure to go over that Y28. And the reason I go over the Y28 is that's a fairly dull color, and since we are doing a blonde, making this, and under here I'm making that mostly the Y26 because of the darkness factor. Anyway, so going over the Y28 with your Y26 just brightens it up a little bit. And it's your own preference. You don't have to do it that way. And these colors are some of my favorite for blonde hair. And I'm just going to quickly fill in those areas, trying to stay with the grain of the curl that the artist drew. And going back in with the Y28, and at those edges really darkening them. And as you see, when we're doing that, the curls really start coming alive. And by coming alive, you really start to feel that they're three-dimensional. It's kind of funny. And go back over just a little bit over here. Then taking the Y21 and going over those edges again. So this is the process that I would do to color her hair and curly hair and different types of hair. Curly, there are lots of different techniques. Susan Dean, I think her blog is Scrap Bits. I've gotten a lot of inspiration from her different tutorials, and she is Copic certified and does teach Copic classes. So her blog is a really awesome reference for these techniques. Then I would continue to fuss with this and blend, and like right here I see too much of a definition and I would like that blended just a little bit more. So I would go through here. Hair is not something that just is lickety split and you're done, especially if you want it to look realistic and you want to have that contrast. But that is the technique that I would use. And then at the end I would go in with my E57 and right at these edges here I just want to flick in some of that dark brown color. And just right in the edge on some of these where the curls are on top of another, I would do like I did here, a straighter line, whereas on the curved part I'm actually doing the flicking of the color. And this hard line is acting like a shadow. Then I would go through all of the ringlets for that color. And compared to this side, it really does give more definition and more contrast. And so that's how I would go ahead and color gold hair on this adorable Goldilocks image. And this stamp I purchased from Crafting Kimmy, but the new Paper Romance, I'm a part of the design team now. Thank you, Amy. You are able to purchase from her store this adorable image. So make sure you check out Paper Romance. Thanks for stopping by today, and I hope you're inspired to go color some curly hair. Many blessings. Bye.